Now, bad prayer.
Now, better prayer.
All right, so let's go to the next story. You know, the July 16 governorship election in Osun State may have come and gone, but the outcome continues to haunt us, you know, and the iNEC and the Electoral in Osun State. A deputy director, ICT with the iNEC, Abimbola Oladunjoye, admitted there was, wait for this, a seemingly overvoting in some polling units. The deputy director, a witness for iNEC, and first respondent in the matter was shown a statement concerning the exercise at Ede South. Election Petition Tribunal Chairman Tetskume ruled that the BVAS machines from the disputed 10 local governments should be kept in the CBN safe, pending the outcome of the matter. You ask the question, where do we go from here?
From smart card reader to Z-pads, now to
politicians hardly want to lose a game.
People are becoming too desperate. But however, what I feel is there is need for iNEC to make sure that they dot their I's and cross their T's, and then make sure. We were talking about policemen, due diligence and everything. I think there is need for iNEC to look inwards. Their officials, how well do you know them before you, place them in various offices? Because if there is anything like overvoting and all that, with the technology that we have in place, no matter how fantastic the technology may be, it takes a man to run it. So what happened where they voted beyond the registered number of persons? Who is culpable? Somebody did something wrong, and they should be punished.
For instance, how did foreigners get in possession of the PVC?
So
things like that.
Things like that. So there is need. Often we don't do due diligence. You put an announcement out there and people come rushing and you take them in. You don't carry out any form of due diligence. At the end of the day, you bring in people who are going to mess up everything you have worked so hard to put in place.
So the Governor Adeleke is not sitting pretty, at least until this case is disposed of.
I read a story in which he said overvoting happened in only 6 places. That's the governor. I wonder why he had to even say anything.
And that's impolitic, if you ask me.
Yes, he should just have kept quiet. You see, if a single vote was not deserved, and you found a way to win, your victory is tainted. There's no way you can wash your hands clean. Your victory is tainted if some of the votes that you got were not deserved. What we have seen in Osun is that we have to shine our eyes as a people. Because these beavers, we felt that beavers was the silver bullet
that
will put an end to election rigging in our country. But the facts coming out of Osun are really startling, and I'm worried. I'm worried for the 2023 election because if in Osun alone we can have this quantum of overvoting, the APC in Osun are saying that overvoting happened in 747 polling centers. It is for the tribunal to determine whether that is true. It is for the tribunal to determine whether the quantum of overvoting had such a big bearing on the outcome, on the final outcome. But some of what came out of the tribunal suggests clearly that there was overvoting. And then the question you ask is, what is going on? What role did beavers play in this whole thing? in Ede South, for example, accreditation figure was 830. But in the Beavers report, the figure of accreditation was 793.
Yeah.
Okay. That's in Ward 4, Unit 7, Ede South. The figure of accreditation in the Beavers report was 313, while the result on Form EC8A was 383. What we will expect to see is that whatever is captured by Beavers
Is gospel.
yes, is the Holy Grail, or how can I describe it?
Yeah.
But we are seeing a situation in which a different figure is captured by Beavers, and on the Form EC8A, where the results are tallied and written, it has a different thing.
The politician is winning.
No, you get the impression that something is wrong with iNEC, because iNEC is supposed to organize this election and ensure that the process is credible and ensure that the politician cannot get away with these things.
But my trouble is when anything goes wrong with any poll, election in this country, the iNEC takes the rap.
It has to take the rap. It has to. Because your processes must lead us to credible elections. You told us, how can you? Nobody, it's not the politician that filled in the results in the EC8A. Is the electoral arbiter, is the iNEC themselves. They are the ones who fill in these results. Or is the politician? It's not the politician. So if Beavers tells you that this is the number of accredited voters, and in Form EC8 you go to fill in something different, you can't blame the politician for that.
Okay.
And there are many people in iNEC today, either in their IT team and other places, that are compromised.
Yes.
We've seen even some of them arrested. Remember what our friend Igini,
Barrister Igini,
did the other day? Took somebody who was supposed to, a prof, an academic. We started bringing these professors to help us run this election because we thought a lot of them were not crooked. But what did we see in Akwa Ibom? It was the prof himself that conspired to rig election. So this one, in that case, is it the politician? No. So there are so many reasons why INEC has got to clean up its processes so that what happened in Osun does not happen in other elections. You can't have a situation in which Beaver says something and then the from EC8A as a different figure. No.
Let's beg INEC to let us make some money now. We'll go on a commercial break. We'll be back, but please stay with us. All right. Just before we go over this story, Ibinabo, what is troubling for me now is the word seeming, or the phrase seeming overvoting. So are we to take it that there was overvoting at the election? And what next?
When there's an overvoting in any polling booth,
the law is clear.
the law is clear.
Yeah.
Whether in Nigeria we play with words a lot. Now the word that is reigning now is seeming or seemingly. Whether it is seeming or seemingly, was there overvoting or not? If there was, then the law should take its course. Period.
But again, our politicians must learn to play by the rule book, because it would appear to me that politics is the only game where the rules are suspended. So long as the show must go on.
To allow the
big boys to go through. And I'm reminded that life is too short. Don't make new mistakes. You can't afford to make wrong choices twice.
Well, in this case, my worry is everyone has told us that these beavers, that there's no problem with these beavers, but we have seen in Osun that beavers is not perfect.
So The human element is involved.
It
in
is.
Yes, it's
Exactly.
the human
That is the
element that
problem.
will ensure that we have 2 reports.
Yes.
2 reports.
Yeah.
What are we doing with 2 reports? Why should we have a situation in which Beaver's report, I think in paragraph 26, 7 of Oladunjoye's statement, that's the ICT expert, she said the accreditation figure in a unit was 402. But in the Beaver's report, the accreditation figure was said to be 263.
Now somebody
Which means that there was overvoting by 139 votes. Now, there is no such thing as seeming overvoting. If there is overvoting, there is overvoting. You can't bamboozle us by playing with words.
Is like saying, it be like say.
Yeah, no, for us, we are very definite. We are certain that there was overvoting. Yeah. You cannot, when you put someone in the witness box, she's very conscious of everything that comes out of her mouth. She didn't want to say that, indeed there was overvoting. But the facts show clearly that there was overvoting in those places. And now even the governor has come out to say in 6 that overvoting only happened in 6 places. It should not even happen in 1 place, not to talk of 6 places. Now it is for the tribunal to determine whether we had whether the quantum of overvoting compromised the whole exercise. But for me, as a Nigerian who wants to see us have a succession of credible elections.
Did they behave like human beings? Because we are members of the human race.
We have to make sure that the progress that we are making is not rolled back by the greed and irresponsible behavior of a few. Because look, we didn't have we had election in Anambra. We had election in Ondo. We had election in Ekiti. We had election in Edo, and everyone who say yes, these elections were free and fair. They showed clearly that our people had their way, that the voters had their way. It was who the voters wanted to win that won. Now, the hope of our people renewed in the exercise in our electoral process is now suspect based on some of the nonsense that we are hearing from the tribunal in Osun State. We can't have a situation in which Beavers will record this and then in the Form EC8 you go and put something in. I mean, what sort of rubbish is that? Why are we as Nigerians like this? Why do we enjoy tampering with facts just to make life easier for ourselves? It makes no sense.
Like Citizen rightly said, the human factor is a problem.
Yeah.
It's not about changing the technology from card reader to Z-pad to Beavers.
Nobody learns anything from victory. You learn from mistakes. But they say if small people fall, they look front. If big people fall, they look back.
Yes.
But we refuse to look back.
Because we love to deceive ourselves.
All right. The tribunal, as we say, like a Daniel, we trust that the tribunal will come to judgment. Good luck to you. Okay, to our next story. Now, 3 leading political parties, the PDP, the APC, and